Have you ever attempted to manifest something in your life and you seem to be doing all of the right things? You're following the formulas, the instructions, the things that maybe seem to have worked in the past, the things that the experts say, and so forth and so on. And still, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe years, maybe even decades later, still does not seem to be manifest in your life. Now, probably all of us have something like this in our lives where we just seem to struggle to manifest this thing that we want, whether it's the money or the career or the creative expression or the relationships or the health or that thing in your life that you struggle with. Well, today I'd like to explore with you one of the things that may be holding you back from achieving the success that you want in this area of your life. Because you see, what sometimes happens is that people have read the books and listened to the experts and taken the courses and done the various techniques and they've applied the formulas and they're able to get some results in some areas of their lives, but not in some other areas of their lives. And then they just get stuck because they don't know what to do. I mean, they go back to the things they've read and the formulas that they've applied, and they maybe even get the consultation with the expert to try and figure out what they're doing wrong. And oftentimes they just get more of the same. We'll just apply the formula, do the steps, and it should work for you. But they've already been doing that and it's not working. So then they just get stuck. And sometimes what happens is people will conclude, well, it just doesn't work. This is like sour grapes. It just doesn't work. It just does not work. It was all a lie. It was a scam. This whole business of being able to consciously manifest is nonsense. It does not work. And then they just move on to the next thing in their lives. And then in some form or another, the process repeats because people just tend to get stuck in one way or another, and then they move on to the next thing, and then they get stuck in that way. So, what I'd like to explore with you is how you can actually get unstuck, how you can actually make better progress in your life in all areas. And the key is to have the knowledge of what's really going on. And so we're going to explore that today. We'll be taking a look at one specific thing which can occur, which holds people back from achieving success in manifesting things that they want in their lives. So actually, this is part of a series that I'm intending that we're going to explore over the coming weeks of the main things that can hold people back, even when they've applied the basic steps and formulas and so forth for manifesting things that they want in their lives. When those basic steps, when the basic formulas don't work, then that is when we need to have this understanding of what are the other things that might be involved that might be holding you back, so that when you have that knowledge, you'll be able to help yourself. There are a handful of things that can be involved, and today we're going to take a look at just one of them, and over the coming weeks, we'll explore some of the others. What is the process by which we manifest? So, first, it's useful to understand that we are always manifesting all of our experience. So, everything that you experience, you are manifesting that. Most of that you are manifesting unconsciously, which is fine as far as it goes, as long as you're happy with that. But if you're unhappy with what you're experiencing, then it can be useful to bring some conscious awareness to that so that you can make changes that will allow you to have more of what it is that you're really wanting instead of struggling with what you don't want. So, as I said, we're always manifesting all of our experience. Most of that we do unconsciously. So when we have experiences that we're not happy with, then that's when we want to bring conscious awareness to that so that we can bring those changes to make it in alignment with what we do want. So we manifest through our inner reality. So a lot of the time, a lot of us have been trained into believing that there is there isn't, well, first of all, that there is an objective external reality, and secondly, that that is the primary reality, that we are ourselves objects existing in an objective material reality. So that's how most of us are trained to perceive and think. However, there's another way of understanding this, which is actually, if you observe, you'll probably find is much more in alignment with what you actually experience, which is that you experience everything subjectively. So everything, even what you think of as the external reality, like right now, you might think that you are watching a screen, you're looking at a screen, and you might think that there's a guy on that screen who is external to yourself. However, if you notice what you're actually experiencing right now, you would probably notice and probably have to agree that what's actually happening is that there's seeing happening, there's hearing happening, there's feeling happening, there's maybe smelling and maybe tasting happening, and that is what you're actually experiencing. And all of that is happening subjectively, and we could call that interiorly. Therefore, even what we conceive of as the external world is actually experienced subjectively and interiorly. So there may or may not be an exterior or objective reality, but even if there is, your experience of it is still subjective and interior. Everything that you experience is actually subjective. Just notice if it's possible for you to experience anything outside of yourself.